Hello, I'm Jason and welcome to part 2 of my weekly comic reviews of the comics released on the 25th of July. Get straight back into it. We're now to the DC Comics. We kick it off with Aquaman, issue 11, written by Jeff Johns, art by Ivan Reis. Every issue of this book, I'm falling more and more in love with the art of Ivan Reis. He's just becoming one of my favourite artists. The story as well is really good. We're a lot lighter this issue on action, a lot more expansion of the story, getting a few facts from the past. We find out what Black Manta is after in this issue. We get to see the final two members of the Others, this team that Aquaman was part of before the Justice League. So this issue we get to meet Vostok and the Operative, and for Vostok at least we get a bit of backstory into who and what he is. We also get to find out how Aquaman got his trident, and a lot more explanation goes on in this book. I gathered this is part 5 of the other storyline, so I'm gathering the next issue is going to be the conclusion. So I think we're just setting things up for the big bang next issue. I'm really loving this book. I wouldn't have believed a year ago that Aquaman would have been one of my favourite books, but it is, and I'm really enjoying the hell out of it. It is a great book. It doesn't hurt that it has such gorgeous art. This is where we're introduced to Vostok. This lovely double page spread there, but yeah, this is just a really good book, and I'm loving the hell out of it. So yeah, I would give this book a thumbs up this week. I really would. I love that book, and it was one of them books when the new 52 come out. I thought I'd try it, but I didn't expect I would love it as much as I do. Every month it's one of the books I look forward to the most. Next up we have Batman The Dark Knight, issue 11. The second issue with Glenn Hurwitz as the writer. This issue, Commissioner Gordon has been kidnapped by the Scarecrow, who's also kidnapping children. Batman's on the case and he runs headlong into a trap. We also get a little bit of explanation into the backstory of Scarecrow. They made him look really creepy, and he is, you know, and most of the issue you're hoping Batman's going to get him. But then you have 2 pages where we get the backstory, well, a little bit of backstory into why he's this deranged lunatic, and experiments his father done on him, and you know, have left him a bit deranged. And we get a little glimpse of that, and you feel a bit of sympathy, and then, you know, in just like 1 page, he sort of takes that sympathy away, you know. But it's really good. The story is really creepy, and Batman rushes headlong into it because he wants to rescue Commissioner Gordon. But yeah, at the end of this issue was good. It's going to be interesting what happens next. It's up against tough competition because you got Batman and you got Batman and Robin, which are 2 great titles. But I think this book's improving, and I'm looking forward to seeing where Glenn Hurwitz goes with this story, so I'd give it a thumbs up. Next up we have Justice League Dark, and after much consideration I would make this my book of the week. This would be my pick of the week. I really enjoyed this book. This was one of the original books I wasn't reading, but then when Jeff Lemire started writing it, I love his work on Animal Man, so I thought I'd give it a go, and I'm glad I did. It's a really enjoyable read. This issue, Phoenix Faust and the Demon 3 have got General Trevor, and they want him to open the Black Room where all these artifacts are kept. Justice League Dark show up to try and save General Trevor, and John Constantine gets Trevor to take him to the Black Room so we can get some artifacts to fight Phoenix Faust with. Meanwhile, Madame Xanadu has had the vision that John Constantine will get the books of magic. Now the books of magic are these 3 books, and if you own all 3, you have all the knowledge in the universe, and that makes you a god. But the power is too much for any one person to have. It corrupts them. And so, but they have found there's one person who is pure enough that can have the books, and that person is Timothy Hunter. So Madame Xanadu is looking for Timothy Hunter to get him to have the books of magic. Meanwhile, back with our other story, John Constantine has stolen this key that will open the box that contains the maps to the books of magic. But then there's a twist at the end of the tale. He's got the key. He stole the key from the Black Room while General Trevor wasn't looking. But, you know, there's a really great twist. It was the only whole shit moment of the week. I just didn't see it coming, and I really loved that, and I'm looking forward to seeing the explanation of that next issue. But this is just a really great book. Jeff Lemire is such a talented writer. This is the 3rd part of this story, but you could pick this up and it gives you everything you need to know to follow the story. So, and that shows you the skill of the writer to be able to do that, but not have it feel repetitive, that you're treading ground you've already trod, as it sort of keeps the story moving along. I'm really enjoying this. I like the cast of characters in this one, and at the end, things aren't looking good for the Justice League Dark at the end of this one. But yeah, I definitely recommend giving this one a go, especially if you're reading books like Animal Man and you're really liking that book. Pick this one up. I think I think it's a really great title, and I'd definitely give it a thumbs up. And it's, like I said, my pick of the week. Oh, maybe we'll show you a bit of art if we can. Oh, here we go. This is the Black Room, where they keep all the magical artifacts in. Oh, and here's Madame Xanadu, as she's trying to find what's happened to Timothy Well, the kid that they... But yeah, try that one out. You won't regret it. And from my favourite book of the week to my least favourite book of the week, we have Before Watchmen, Comedian, issue 2 of 6. I really enjoyed the first issue of this. I thought it was really good. It was one of the Before Watchmen books I was not looking forward to. Comedian's not one of my favourite characters, and I wasn't looking forward to reading a book about him. But I wanted to give all the issue 1s of this series a go. I did, and I really enjoyed issue 1. I thought the story would carry on in here, but we don't. We jump a few years ahead to a whole new story, which I just didn't enjoy. I don't know much about Vietnam, I'll be honest. So I don't know how much of this book was reality and how much of it was fiction. But it does seem silly to me that the whole gist of this is Comedian is positioned in Vietnam, right, because they need somebody out there. And then the military sort of reveal that without the president knowing, that what they're doing is they're getting drugs and they're selling these drugs back to the American people to fund the war in Vietnam. But the president doesn't know, and you know, but they've sent Comedian over there, this superhero, and set him on it. It just seemed really silly to me. It was a bit too far for me. I didn't like this story at all. It was rubbish. The art was alright, but nah. I'll see what issue 3. I'll probably pick up issue 3, see if it can redeem itself. But if issue 3 is the same quality as this, I don't think I'll complete this series. So yeah, I would give The Comedian thumbs down. Didn't like that one. But next up, on a brighten out, one of my favourite books every month. It's one of the 5 books that if I could only buy 5 books every month, I would get this. And it is The Flash. Issue 11. It continues to be a really good book. I've enjoyed this book since the beginning. The art and the layout of the art continues to be its strong selling point, even though it's a different artist on it now. It continues to be its selling point. basically in this issue, last issue we saw Barry was going to tell his girlfriend that he was the Flash, but then he goes to rescue her as the Flash, and she sort of turns to him because she thinks Barry Allen is dead, and she says, look, I know you're a nice bloke, but seeing you just upsets me, reminds me of my boyfriend who's dead. I can't look at you or see you. So the Flash is then like, I can't tell her that I'm Barry Allen because that's going to cause her more pain, and I don't want to do that. So he's going to let the world think that Barry Allen's dead. So this issue is his first issue of him trying to build a new life, and to build a new life and a new identity. And he ends up in this part of town called the Keys, which is the roughest part of Keystone City. And he works in this bar, and all these villains go into this bar. So you've got Captain Cold there. Heatwave shows up, and he has got this beef with Captain Cold. And then so like Al, Barry Allen, who now calls himself Al, gets thrown through the window. So he changes into the Flash, and he's trying to stop them fighting. So it's a really good issue, and you've got other stuff going on in the background that you can see is building to something else. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I thought it really got strong again this issue. But last issue, they sort of wasn't as strong as it had been. It was still good, it was still enjoyable, but I think it had been better. This issue really picks it back up. There, I love that whole picture there. Really good use, but they've had that since issue 1. A really good use of panels. And this is another good page I like. I thought that was really nice. But yeah, I like this. I like how they're gradually introducing all the rogues into it, because Flash always had this group of villains called the Rogues, and I like how they're introducing them, you know, one by one, and you can see they're starting to come together. And you've got little bits that we don't know about yet to be revealed that they're teasing. But I'm enjoying this book, and I definitely recommend picking it up. I think it's a fun read, and you know, it's great fun, and I give it a thumbs up. Another book that's a great read is Green Lantern. I am really loving this book at the moment. After the last story, we're sort of picking up the pieces. Black Hand has got the Black Ring again. He returns to Earth. He raises his family from the dead. He then has come up with this plan so he won't be an outcast. He's going to kill everybody on the planet in as many ways as he can, then get the dead to do the same. Then he's going to raise everybody so the whole world would be dead people, and he thinks the world would be a happier place. That's his logic. Meanwhile, you've got Sinestro and Hal Jordan working together, trying to find where Black Hand is, and it takes them to Korugar, to Sinestro's lair, where they're going to use something there to help them find Black Hand. Not heavy on action. This is a lot of setup. It's part 1 of a new story, so there's a lot of setup and a lot of laying out of what's where. But it was a really enjoyable issue. I really enjoyed it. Black Hand's really creepy, and I love the relationship between Sinestro and Hal Jordan. You've got like two total opposites. Sinestro is a real extremist who feels no mercy at taking somebody out. I mean, feels no sympathy or no way about taking somebody out. He's a real extremist where, like, if he was on the buzz and somebody's playing their music loud and he asked them to turn it down and they give him a lot of cheek, he'd cut their hand off and throw the hand out the window so that they couldn't play their music anymore. That's Sinestro, you know. He has no mercy. But Hal Jordan thinks the best of people. He's very light-hearted, always making jokes, and he just believes in people, that people can be redeemed, and that people can, you know, redeem themselves and make good, which is a theory that Sinestro thinks is utterly weak and stupid. But despite their differences, they have this respect for each other, and that's what I'm enjoying in this book. Who would have ever thought that they would have made such a good pairing? But Jeff Johns has written them really well. I'm enjoying this book, and this was another, like I say, not a whole load of action. It's more set up as it's part 1 of this new story. But I'm enjoying this book, and it's a good jumping on point because, like I say, part 1 of a new story. The art by, I think it's Doug Mackey, is good. As you can see here, we've got a picture of Black Hand with his family. You can see how creepy he looks in that picture there. And I think the next page has Sinestro and Hal in Sinestro's lair. But it's good. Another bit I really liked about this issue is at the beginning of the issue, Hal Jordan has a bit of control back, you know, after being at the mercy of Sinestro, because Hal's got no power ring. Sinestro's giving him some of his power. But at the beginning of this issue, you know, things have turned a bit, which is good. And you know, the fact that Hal vouches for Sinestro at the beginning of the issue was really interesting. That the Indigo Tribe weren't going to let Sinestro go, but Hal Jordan vouches for Sinestro because he believes in everybody, which I really like. I like that, and like I say, I like the relationship between those characters, and I give this book a thumbs up, and would definitely recommend picking it up and checking it out. So that's my reviews for this week. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll all have a good week. If you like this video, please, underneath there, thumbs up, thumbs down. Also in the comments box, tell me what you think. Did this work better, doing the 2 videos, or did you like them all condensed into one? This episode, sorry, I concentrated more on just laying out what happened in them comics rather than what had happened previously. Do you prefer that way, or do you like having all the previous information? Please, you know, any comments you got, even if you've got ideas how I can make these videos better, please just put them in the comment box. I look forward to hearing them. Also, another good way is subscribe, and it means you don't have to go looking around for my videos. They'll always be put in your feed, so you'll see when I've done a new video. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a good week, and bye for now.